The Restoration. In the quiet glow of an amber-lit studio, where the hum of soft machinery mingled with the rhythmic scrape of brushes, something extraordinary was unfolding. A woman stood stillierly still as though time itself had paused for her. Her face, porcelain fair with cascading brown hair, loomed large in the foreground. But this was no ordinary portrait. Her striking blue eyes shimmered with life, intense and reflective, as if guarding untold stories behind a lens of silence. From a close-up vantage, her face became a vast canvas, alive with movement and purpose. Miniature workers, no taller than a thumb, buzzed around her visage like diligent bees in a hive. On the left, she held a ladder leaned delicately against her own cheek. She had climbed it herself. One hand gripped a paintbrush, the other steadied her place. Her own figure, a micro version of her real self, looked out directly at the viewer, eyes steady and deliberate. It was as if she were both the subject and the artist, reclaiming agency in her own restoration. To the right, several tiny orange-skinned figurines moved with energetic precision. Clad in blue overalls and yellow hard hats, they worked in teams. One buffed the curve of her brow with a fine brush. Another carefully outlined the contour of her cheekbone. A pair of them debated on the shade of peach to use on the bridge of her nose. Despite their size, they carried the gravity of real laborers, focused, collaborative, and deeply invested in the task at hand. Each stroke of the brush brought warmth to her skin, a sense of life blooming under synthetic strokes. The tiniest imperfections on uneven shadow beneath the eye, a blemish of fatigue at the temple were not erased, but embraced and refined, treated with reverence. The backdrop was blurred soft and warm, like candlelight diffused through linen curtains. It hinted at a studio or workshop, an inner sanctum where beauty and selfhood were not manufactured but maintained. This was not just a restoration of a face. It was the restoration of identity. The surrealism of the moment was anchored in realism so striking that the viewer could see the individual hairs of her eyebrows, the gleam of light caught in the irises, the texture of her painted skin beneath the layered work of many hands. This image told a story not just of vanity, but of self-construction, of the quiet, tireless work it takes to build and rebuild oneself. In a world that often deconstructs us, she had become the architect of her own portrait.